It's a privilege.
What's the definition of a good sex? How does that supposed to feel?
Like, explain that to me.
Because
for the woman
like,
or the
okay,
man
so
or
for
Especially
example,
for women.
I think like, for example, like he's saying, right?
Yes.
Like every time I am with a woman,
Yes.
she's blessed. She feels the best, right? Like look at him.
God.
He's the God, right?
Yes.
But then, you
He
know,
looks like he'd be fun to have sex with.
Thank
I
you.
mean, right? Like,
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
serious.
Get
like,
some of that energy. You
listen,
feel that right there?
like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
change your
giving
life.
you energy too.
I'm trying to say now. Give it to me.
but then for example, like sometimes, you know, you have sex with somebody and you just feel empty afterwards, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then it's not always you're gonna like climax, right?
Right, correct.
But also it's kind of like sometimes you're like, I don't even know like what this person is doing. Like sometimes you kind of like feel like, all right, I'm gonna just let it flow. Like things are just, and I will let you do whatever you want. But some people I'm like,
So
what
it just
is, like,
depends on the partner for you?
I don't even know, but I think like that's the good question to ask. What's a definition of a good sex?
Especially for women, because for guys, you know, it's like really easy for them.
Guys, guys
We
is
easy.
What are we
pretty
supposed to feel,
women
or like
is
what are we?
difficult.
What should we be
that's,
feeling?
That's good. That question I can understand more. But thank you for explaining. So
Yeah.
for women, that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
We don't feel. Many women, most women have, I think it's 1 out of every 5 women have suffered some kind of physical or sexual abuse.
Hell yeah.
It's like crazy, right? So now you have a broken, if you will, traumatized woman that's entering into sex. We know guys, you're probably the exception, are lasting approximately 5 minutes. That's the norm. And so women have been, I say, prematurely penetrated. They've been penetrated before they were open, before not just what, like open, like their body pulling you in, then their body. A lot of times women, because sex is so intimate, even if it's not like the act of like for us letting a man inside of our bodies, right?
Yeah, sacred.
That's a very intense thing. For men, not so much. That's
Not
why
so
men are more like, okay, I can fuck or not, or
I can
just
stick it
because
in.
I've slept with you 100 times
Don't
doesn't
mean
mean I
nothing.
love you,
Don't mean nothing.
and they're fine.
Yep.
But for women, it's like we slept together years. I love this person,
You
and
enter
he
in
is
her
not
soul,
thinking
yeah.
correct. So for women, it's just so much more complex. And what we've done is the body is very smart. It knows how to protect ourselves, which is why dissociation even exists. If there's trauma, people will often say, like, I just left my body and I saw myself being, you know, sexually taken, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
I wasn't there though, because I was like, peace, I'll be
Yeah.
back when the show's over kind of
Facts.
thing, right? Not making light of it at all.
it's real.
It's real. So what happens is this sex, then you have sex with another guy, it's the same thing.
Right.
The body, remember what wires together, fires together. So the brain's just like, oh, this shit's happening again. All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to take off. So a lot of times women, they're just not even there when they're having sex anymore because they haven't really worked through the trauma. They haven't gotten out of the body and released that. So then when they go into sex, they're just like, I don't even want to be here. And then they don't.
Right.
And then they're like, I want to feel something, but I can't. In fact, we have this thing called Yoni mapping, and you basically go inside the Yoni and you like move around the walls of the Yoni, like just very gently to press for like trauma. And you can tell a woman, and it's called Yoni massage.
Wait,
It's a very sacred.
it's like emotional healing, right?
Yes,
So
it's-
I've done that on my body. I've done the
you've done it
emotional,
yourself.
not the yoni. No,
You ain't
no,
got
no,
inside
not
the yoni,
myself.
you ain't go
No,
up in there?
not the yoni one. I've done the body healing, the body
Okay.
emotional healing, where it was like more in my back and like different spots of
So
my
you
body.
pull yes.
And then it's like they just press and then
There's
like you
points.
start crying
That's
and
actually-
like
yes. So there's a lot of different great healing modalities.
But I didn't know that they have one for Yoni.
It's
That's
called Yoni
amazing.
massage and Yoni, aka Yoni
Okay.
mapping. So I used to teach this for couples and there's one for men too, but men get it very confused. So
sure.
they think it's a happy ending. I'm like, no, this is not what it
Yeah,
is.
relax.
So you just go in and you go around, and sometimes they'll put the finger in, and then I tell them to ask, where do you feel that? And they'll say, I don't feel it.
Right.
And it's just like, do you feel that? And this is very normal, even girls your age, because it's just been so conditioned in women to not even value sex anymore, right?
Yeah.
I think especially
please a
in
man,
this,
please a man.
yes.
Yeah.
And then they don't think like, I always say like, would you share a toothbrush with her?
No.
No, even if you guys were married,
No.
but yet you'll fuck her
Yeah, all up
and
in
you'll
there.
a ton of other women.
Line them up. Can you?
But the point is like, we look at like sharing our toothbrush as being very fucking intimate.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't do that with someone.
It's like
There-
kissing is like separate.
Correct. but you'll let someone as a woman inside of your body, no problem.
And that's why I always, am I wrong for this? Because I always say this, and I stand on this, because as you're saying, most women don't even climax. Most women don't even enjoy sex with the partners they have.
Yes.
So they play Russian roulette every time they with a guy. Not only can they have sex with them good, or it's a mental connection or emotional connection, they might have the right equipment, then they don't know how to use it, know the right moves. There's so much you go into it for a guy to really please a woman.
Yes.
But if a guy can do that, if he, if you know what you're doing, you got the equipment, know how to talk to him when you're in there, all the shit they love. What's on a higher scale? Is it a guy that has all the components of having good sex, or a woman just having some pussy that's laying there for the most part?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think the real question is, how do we find intimacy in the sex?
Right.
Yeah.
Because intimacy is not sex, and sex isn't intimacy.
Right.
But if you ask someone like, we're gonna have intimacy, we're gonna create intimacy tonight, they're like, oh, we're f***ing. It's like, no, intimacy is when you show up present.
But I get that, but I'm saying, like, women would be like, okay, you get to f me, I'm bringing the pussy. Like, no, that's it. Like, I got the pussy,
understand.
this is what you get.
Okay.
No, baby, you don't even come for most of you guys.
No,
I'm gonna
no.
make you come. You're gonna love this dick. So I got the A side here.
But how do you create?
I understand what
You see
you're
what I'm
saying.
saying now?
So women think that they're bringing something to the table because
by the
they
pussy.
have
because
a
of
yoni.
the vagina.
And they don't realize what it takes for a man to get an erection.
Yeah.
An
Come on
erection
now.
is extremely hard thing to get. I had to throw that in. Extremely hard thing to get because you have to be not stressed, which in today's world,
Tough for
imagine
men.
you have businesses, or you're working for someone, even worse, and you're in traffic and this and that, and then you come home and you're gonna have sex and you're like, you just can't relax enough to get it hard because men, you're getting an erection in the parasympathetic central nervous system, which is meaning you're relaxed, and you're climaxing in your fight or flight, which is the sympathetic. The women is the antithesis. So women think a lot of times like, oh yeah, I'm bringing this. It's like, no, you're receiving me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm showing up and doing the work, really.
And then most of the time, see, I knew I was right.
Yeah, no,
so
you're
most
right.
of the time, I do 100 different moves. You might ride me a little bit, do 2 or 3 little moves. I'm doing all the calisthenics, put you on the banister, put the leg up, put you down, put the frog style. I'm doing all the Kama Sutra, and I'm dominant.
I need to cross-reference your postures with the conversation.
It's no joke. So it's like, how you talking? Because you get the guy to like you pleasing me. I'm the.
Well, I think it's because they've had really bad experiences.
That's what I'm saying. Because when they run into me, it's different though.
Yeah.
So don't play with me.
Again, we're not talking just about you. I think we're talking about just in
the
general.
average-
Other guys in
average
general.
Joe.
Because what happens is, like you're saying, there's 2 different things, like sex and intimacy, and like sometimes you really feel intimate with that person, but like how can a man connect with a woman better, or a woman connect with a man better?
So the first thing, this isn't the whose show was I on, and they're like, oh, Fresh. She's like, wait, I have to do this for 10 minutes. He did not
that's serious.
So the biggest thing, and we can do this at the end. I can guide you guys through it if you want. It's totally PG, but basically it's just okay. We're talking about poles of energy.
Right.
Do you understand? Like the masculine is the positive pole. It's on the right side. That's the Shiva. And the feminine is the negative pole. And that's the left side of the body. And that's Shakti. So you have Shiva, Shakti, positive and negative. It's like a battery. And everything in the universe operates that way. The sun, the moon, day, night, hot, cold. It's
Yin, yang,
everywhere.
yeah.
It's everything. So once you see that everything out there is in us and it all has to balance, then you're like, oh, I understand this now. So when it comes to how do we get women to experience more intimacy, more connection, and that equals pleasure. Because men, you need to have sex before you can even think about being intimate with a woman.
Come on now,
it's just not happening.
Yeah,
and probably for most women it won't.
For
but
sure.
if there's something there, you're like, okay, if I f her, then I could get intimate with her.
Most definitely.
But
Got to
for
earn the
women,
embassy,
it's the other way around.
Yeah.
We want intimacy before we think about having sex with
Right.
you. And that's why for most women, it's not happening because they're like, this was just
He
whatever.
just came to
Checked out, right? So we have to match that with the poles of energy on our body. So for men, your lingam, which is a Sanskrit word for penis, is positive pole.
Right.
And then my yoni is also positive. So that you can't do positive and positive. Does that make sense? It needs to be positive, negative. So where's the negative pole on the woman? It's in the chest. It's in the heart. So if you bring the energy here and you put the put your hands on her heart, if you will, in the center of her chest. This is the heart chakra. we call it the heart because it's close to the heart, but it's really here. And you just do this with her. I told them for 10 minutes. He's like, can I do it for like 2?
I'm learning some more movements. I do that to a woman. She's going to be really
So it's not even like kissing or anything. It's literally just like.
Just energy.
Energy,
I said, if this is hard to do for a few minutes, because for most people it will. 2 minutes will be a lot. They'll be like, what the f*** am I doing?
She might call the police on you. Crush my heart. Somebody help me. This is crazy.
Yeah, but you have to with somebody who's tapped in. You can't just.
You can't just respond to, hey, baby, lay down for the put your CPI.
And that's another thing. Like people have to be like on a different level.
Energetically attracting them.
Most definitely.
So then after that, say a few minutes. So then you can kind of just go and just move into this region and just, work
your way up in there. Rush to them titties, mama.
And then if you feel her starting to get like, you just kind of bring it back. If you do this for every year, Keith and I, we do the retreats, we demo, and he does this to me for like 5 to 10 minutes, and we demo in front of all the people, right? And I go so deep into like it's like oxytocin, dopamine. I'm just like, when I get up, I'm like, oh, I have to teach now. And then we're like,
they'll let a pool of goddamn blood moon on the ground.
So, and is that true that it's actually you're going to get like more wet if you do that?
Absolutely.
Because that's again without
it's
that.
It's negative and then it opens the
juice
positive.
That thing up.
So then now your positive is ready to go here because the negative has balanced that out. So now you can
So the electricity ready to go ahead and get that, you know what I'm saying, that charge.
And that's why this picture, if you see
everybody's
the yab-yum, that all the energy centers are aligned from root here all the way up to crown, and that's how the energy flows. It moves back and forth like a wave or like a snake, and that's the balance.
I've heard of people doing that, but before they have said they sit like that first, they channel.
Yes, that's what we do.
Yeah.
So I can do this with someone like this guy lives here actually. Shout out to Joel. He's big.
Where's she at?
Joel?
She look good.
That's me.
Oh.
She right here.
A lot of people are like, "Is that you?" I'm like,
they do some good on there now.
So basically, if I have done this with him, we never had sex. We were only spiritually connected.
Only spiritually.
And we did this like this was like my energy hook. It was just like feeling that, and then you're like, oh, like I just felt good now. I felt balanced. I feel like I had an orgasm. So but it was like a God one.
That's tough.
We did that for the women right now. The woman is here right now. What about the man? How do you connect with a man so the man is connected with you too? Because it's like you can't just go one way.
Yab-yum is really good for men. You know why? Because
the what?
Yab-yum, this posture. Because it is still a sexual. It's just like of intimate sexual nature, even though we're clothed. But you can do this sexually too. You can do this before, during, and after sex. So start with this, move to this, even have sex this way, and then in this way, and meditate, and your third eyes are touching.
Yeah, you done put that juice up in there and just let it stir. And just hold it tight and let it just simmer together.
But what you can do to kind of bring energy and to help him is because men typically only feel pleasure right here in the 2 inches of the 10, right? Yeah. And 2 out of the 8 is what or out of the 10 they're feeling. 10, but the 8 is the bottom part in the depth. Yeah. So that's where they're feeling pleasure. So for men, we have to move the pleasure through their body. So I encourage women, even when if you see, you've got half of the picture, but my hand was here and then I was moving it up here. So I'm moving it up his back and I'm just because remember, wherever focus goes, energy flows. Yes. Wherever I bring attention, energy is going to go there. So if I'm so during sex, how do we make this more intimate for him? Yeah. I just say like I'm riding him or whatnot. Now I'm just like, literally taking my hand up his abs, which I'm sure like 12 of them or whatever.
It's 6.
6.
I'm over exaggerated.
Okay. It's a nice 6-pack though, right? I'm just like literally from the base of his pubic bone, I'm pulling the energy up and then I'm just pushing it in his heart. And then I'll do it on the back and I'll put it to his crown. So men typically they have a hard time in sex doing anything but feeling right there. Yeah. So you got to help them. So and then the breath work is the most important.
Breath work is very important.
And that is what, in my book, I give you guys a lot of
breath
activities.
Work as far as what?
I can even show you guys in a minute, like in the end, I can show you a breathing pattern you can do together. So in this posture, we are syncing the breathing because if your breath is connected to his breath, then that you're breathing as one. Now he's connected to you and you're connected to him. So in our school of thought, we say that the woman doesn't breathe until the man does.
Right, as it should be.
So you breathe. So
don't breathe unless I say so. You hear me?
Correct.
I also had another question.
Yes, correct.
That is correct, right? You hear that?